You might be thinking something right now. Who in Griffith's name is frickin' Borkoff? Well, what if I told you that an apostle named Borkoff actually has more of a significant reputation than even somebody like the likes of Grunbeld? A character that has, single-handedly changed the course of the entire Berserk manga, and whom without, we may be looking at a very different series. A character that is responsible for one of, if not the, most crucial and traumatizing moments of the entire manga, and never once has he asked for any praise or credit. He's just out here doing his best in the hellscape of darkness and misery, and I respect him for that. Yes, this video is about Borkoff. When Kentaro Miura started the Berserk story, he plunged us deep, very deep, into a dark, chaotic world with an already established main character that was out for vengeance towards all of demonkind, specifically looking to track down the God Hand. Other than being severely psychologically damaged, Guts was also shown to be somebody who had clearly gone through a large amount of physical pain in battles as well, and had damage to show for it. Most notably, he had a lost right eye, and no left arm from the elbow down. Though Miura chose not to give Guts an eye patch like the original design from the prototype, he did decide to not just have Guts missing an arm, but to replace it with a metal prosthetic that could basically magnetize to the hilt of his sword, allowing him to still swing at full power. But even more so than that, the arm itself hides a powerful hidden attack at the pull of a string that can blast a cannonball straight into an enemy's face. In fact, I talked about this last week that Guts is shown using this in the very first few pages of the manga as he lays waste to a Thadi apostle that he had a brief entanglement with. The arm cannon itself, which I do have a video explaining in more detail, which I'll link below if you're interested in that, but it has gotten Guts out of a lot of trouble that could have otherwise gotten him killed. Now, I don't want to say it's a good thing that Guts lost his arm, but the addition of the cannon has, without a doubt, helped him win a wide number of battles. But when Miura began writing the backstory for the opening arc and he showed a much younger and fully appendaged Guts, he did have to come up with the reason why Guts lost his arm in the first place. And so, enter Borkoff. It is hard to keep track of just how many apostles were at the eclipse, and I am still waiting for the reveal of how powerful the snail apostle actually is. But as Guts is rampaging through the creatures in front of him, trying desperately to make his way to Casca, only one apostle was capable of stopping him dead in his tracks. Borkoff clamps down onto Guts' arm, and it's not only able to stay latched, but Guts can't even move himself forward. And remember, this is a fully enraged, has nothing to lose going full force Guts. But Borkoff is so strong that he can't even begin to escape his jaws. We're talking about some intense crocodile-like force bite grip here, and he's lucky that Borkoff didn't attempt to do the death roll. Even multiple stab attempts from Guts do nothing against his teeth and just ends up breaking the sword. Also, we all know what comes next, and we don't need to go into it here again, but this is where Borkoff deserves a level of recognition. If not for Borkoff, Guts could have gotten to Casca much sooner, and sure, there are other apostles that show up to hold him down, but the fact that just one apostle was able to hold him in place and not even budge one little bit is insane. And yes, it's true, Guts is responsible for cutting off his own arm to escape, but he was still forced to do that because of Borkoff out here, just doing his best. And our boy definitely swallowed that arm. And that makes him literally the only apostle in the history of Berserk that has managed to consume some of the sacrificed Guts. How Borkoff isn't praised as Apostle of the Year is beyond me, because that is more than all of the others have ever managed to do. But even if that event is significant, that's still no indication that Miura ever planned anything for Borkoff afterwards. At this point, he was just one of the nameless apostles like all of the hundreds of others in the Eclipse. But similar to how he made the female apostle significant later on in the story, he did eventually bring Borky Boy back, and he shows up as a member of Locus's Lancer crew during the assault on Wyndham to rescue Princess Charlotte. Though there's only a few panels of Borkoff, he does follow Locus's commands and is part of the attack, taking down numerous Daka in the process. And it's during this scene that he's first name dropped as well. Locus commands him specifically to charge through the Daka forces so that they can begin to make their escape. And just look at him there, doing his best. He's also shown up numerous other times as well. It's kind of like the Where's Waldo of Berserk. If you look for him, he might be there. He's during the epic battle against Ganishka's Shiva form, tearing things up, doing his best, and we get this significant moment of him battling in the Colosseum in Falconia, a place that was built for the apostles to be able to enact their bloodlust and violence away from the eyes of humanity. Borkoff faces down an ogre as hundreds of his peers cheer on his awesomeness. He does get bonked in the head once, but then he charges that bitch ogre at full force and rips his guts out. Yeah, look at him, doing his best. Now, once again, I assume that he was brought back into the story after the Eclipse, not just for the design, but I can only assume that Guts will come face to face with him once again and get some justice for his lost appendage. But some interesting things to note as well. As of now, Borkoff has never actually spoken in the manga that we've seen, and except for this, which might be a translation error, but when he gets bonked in the head by the ogre, he seems to be just saying part of his name. He just says, cough. Like, what is that about? Is he some kind of Pokemon? Can he only say his name? Pokeball, go! Borkoff! Also, we pretty much have only ever seen him in his apostle form, though this image from a group shot is suspected to be him, but he's still ridiculously covered in armor. And that seems to be his prime strength. He's very hard, and he's virtually impenetrable. Basically a walking tank, but with a mouth. His apostle form is a six-legged, stocky creature with a gigantic mouth on the front of its body, and like most apostles, he has a second head that is protruding from the top of his body, also seems to be covered with the hardened substance that his body is made of. As well, he holds a lance and a shield as he fights, so he has incredible range of attack, the speed of his body's run, and a nearly impenetrable build. So fighting Borkoff would be incredibly difficult. Maybe you would have to attack him from the inside, find a way to get him to open his mouth, and then just shoot a cannon off. Otherwise, you're probably getting run down or devoured. Ultimately, though, I do think we are going to see him once again in the manga, because to bring him back after so many Eclipse Apostles were never seen again makes me think that we will see his own undoing, probably by the berry thing that Guts would not have if not for his initial attack. But in any case, if these two finally meet again, you can bet our Borkoff is gonna do his best. So let me know what you think of this cute little guy. What are your thoughts, theories, and opinions about Borkoff? Let me know all of that down in the comments below. Also, as always, guys, feel free to like the video and share it to help it do better in the algorithm. And if you want to support the channel on a deeper level, I do have a Patreon, channel memberships, merch store, and all the various social media links where you can follow me, linked down below. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll talk to you next time.